What's up, Wizards? Dev from that channel down there, you know by now. I got a deck today that we're all pretty excited about, and I think you will be too. This is the super awesome, super quirky, super actually works and won a states tournament blue-red control. Yeah. This thing is amazing, actually. I've been playing around with this a lot, and like the more I play with it, the more I just like respect it and love it, and just like this, I'm so glad that this exists. So let's jump right into it. Well, we're playing absolutely zero creatures in this deck, so that's a cool start already. We don't have to play like dudes with power and toughness, right? So this is a refreshing way to play Magic. We haven't played this way in a while. Even with control, we have a Pearl Lake Ancient or an Ojutai or something. So let's go ahead and hit the spells. Well, we got one slot thing. We got one copy of Wild Slash in the main deck. You know, aggro. Why do I have to explain Wild Slash? I could really just go over all these spells and be like, I don't have to explain this. The deck kind of makes itself. It's going on to the 2-drops, why not? We've got 4 copies of Anticipate, a ridiculous card drawing engine. Yeah, again, no explanation for this. I can tell you that there are more card drawing cards in this deck, but that this is the one in the early game that you're going to be using end of turn when you don't have to counter anything or whatever, kill a guy. And yeah, Anticipate's always good. It's just always good. 2 copies of Disdainful Stroke in the main deck here. Of course, you need Disdainful Stroke. You're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff that will just outright kill you if it hits the board. So, I mean, you have to have some counter spells. Coming up next, there's 2 copies of Magma Jet in this deck. Notice how quickly I'm running through here. Because like I said, the deck makes itself. 2 copies of Magma Jet here. Don't see this card too often, but you need the Scry. You really need to be able to set your deck up because, you know, this is actually, it seems very fragile. But if you can get it going right, it works more than fine. Like I said, it won an entire states tournament, which is just mind-blowing to me. 3 copies of Lightning Strike in the main deck for killing dudes, and 1 copy of Roast in the main deck for the same reason. You want to kill dudes. There's more Roasts in the sideboard. You really worry about aggro and mid-range a lot, and Roast and Lightning Strike help you out with both of those decks, obviously. 4 copy of a meaty counterspell here. This is Dissolve, a hard counter that also lets you scry up the next thing that you might be needing. Obviously, also very good. Just one of the best hard counters in the format, and yeah, you need it. You need all 4 copies of it because you're going to be countering stuff all the time. 2 copies in the main of Anger of the Gods. Thinking about upping this, actually. You need Anger of the Gods. You really want to draw into this. There's 2 more copies rounding out a full playset in the sideboard. You've absolutely got to have Anger of the Gods. The only board wiping effect that you really have. Of course, blue has a couple of things. Whelming Wave comes to mind. But honestly, Anger is what you need to really get you over the initial, early game hump that you're going to be taking a lot of damage in. So if you take, 10, 15 damage in the first couple of turns, don't worry, you can still come back. This deck stabilizes very well. 1 copy of Steam Augury in the deck, another card drawing engine, another Fact or Fiction type thing. And yeah, you need your 1 copy of Steam Augury. This is actually super good, and I'm thinking about upping this too, because Steam Augury always gets you what you want, no matter what they pick for you to get. 3 copies of the thing, one of the 2 cards that I think make the deck tick. This is something that I'm going to actually put up a little bigger than usual so that you can read it. A lot of people might be like, what? Or just completely forgotten about this. It is a reprint, though, from way earlier. This is Riddle of Lightning. There's 3 copies of this in the deck, and I'm actually thinking about making it 4 because you always do a ridiculous amount of damage off of this. This is partly a kill spell in some ways. It does take out larger creatures that you don't have other ways of taking out, so that's important. But it can also do a ton of damage to their face, and that's important. This is one of the win conditions in the deck. The deck just goes long and wins off of stuff like this. 1 copy of Treasure Cruise in here to draw you cards. And 4 copies of Dig Through Time to do pretty much exactly the same thing. You need all 4 copies of Dig. Dig is always good when you get it. We've got a lot of smaller, lower mana cost spells in the deck. A lot of counter spells, a lot of burn. We will be filling our graveyard a lot. So, yeah, Dig Through Time. Absolutely. We've got to have it. One of the best, if not the best, card drawing thing in the format, and really makes this deck work. We've got 4 copies of Mind Swipe, a card that a lot of casuals were like, this is a really good card, and everyone was like, what are you talking about, dude? Well, it turns out that this card is interesting, at the very least. Yeah, this is a win condition too, it turns out. You can often counter just whatever, you know. You can counter 2 or 3 mana spells that they've top decked, essentially, and deal 12 damage to them with this ridiculous thing. Mind Swipe is pretty much always good. You always want to see it. You always want to counter spells with it. Even if you only get 3-4 damage off of it, that can incrementally go a long way to you winning the game, because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be countering spells, dealing a little bit of damage at a time until you can win the game. And you will, 9 times out of 10. This deck works a lot better than it looks. It looks like total jank on the surface with things like, you know, Riddle of Lightning and Mind Swipe, but those 2 cards, as a matter of fact, go a long way to winning you games in this janky, unexpected thing that they're not going to really know how to play against. They're not going to know what you're doing at all. The deck runs, like I said, 1 Planeswalker and 1 artifact. That 1 artifact being Perilous Vault, because you need more ways, just like Anger, of, you know, killing everything at one time. You need a safety valve, and this is the best one in the format for this kind of deck, because it's colorless, yay. And the 1 Planeswalker in the deck is obviously Ugin the Spirit Dragon. No explanation needed here. Talking about win conditions, this is a win condition, I would say. You just, you know, slap it on the board. You don't have to worry about blowing up any of your permanents, because you really don't have any other than Perilous Vault in the entire deck. So you can just blow everything up and then start bolting them every turn, and you win the game. That's how Ugin usually wins the game. And notice we're not doing any stupid Nykthos or ramping stuff. We're just playing until the 10th, 11th turn, and playing Ugin and backing him up with counterspells and stuff. So, yeah, Ugin, turns out you just hardcast him late game. He's just as good. When he hits the board, he may be, literally, when he hits the board, the best card in Magic history. That's hard to say. That's hard to say, but on board, not including mana costs or anything, Ugin is probably one of at least the top 3 or 5 Magic cards in history when it comes to board effects once he's on the board. Let's run over the lands super quick as I post them up here. You can do a lot of different stuff with the lands in this deck. It runs pretty well off of just, you know, mountains and islands, but you want to have fetch lands in there to fuel your dig through time and your treasure cruise. You know, you really want to have the fetch lands. You want to have your Shivan Reefs and stuff. And even game lands, I think, work well, and of course, scry lands. So, however you want to do the lands is fine with me, but know that you really need A, scry lands, and you really need B, fetch lands, very badly. So it's not like this is the cheapest deck ever to make, but it's a lot better than, you know, trying to find 4 copies of Wingmate Rock and 4 copies of Siege Rhino and a bunch of mana confluences and all this crap. So, it's not the most budget thing ever, but you can still build this for like under $100, and no one will ever see it coming. So that is this deck for now. I know that was a super quick deck tech and I went super fast, but I feel like I said, the deck makes itself and it explains itself. Once you see, you know, oh, these are the cards in the 2 slot, these are the cards in the 3 slot, you're like, yes. I don't know why I didn't make this before. Like, it's weird that we didn't know this existed, because it totally exists. This is a thing. Like I said, I'll say it the 3rd time. This won a states tournament. So I can't say that it's a bad deck or it's a casual deck or maybe you just take this to F&M. No, this is a real deck, everybody. So have fun with this blue-red control thing. And yeah, I think we've all wanted Is It Control for a really long time. I'm glad that it's in the format. I'm glad that it's a real thing. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. And yeah, I'll just see you guys next time. I'm Dev from MTG. Let us know in the comments if you have any ideas for decks. I've got a couple of ideas brewing up here. Still got Naya Dragons, and I've still got Green-Blue Morphers, which is a much better deck than I think it sounds like when I just say Green-Blue Morphers. People aren't excited about that. But let me know. Naya Dragons, Green-Blue Morphers. We got both of them ready to go. I'll do whichever one you want next time. I am Dev from MTG, and I'll see you wizards later.